ultimately, this is good for America's military, this is good for our nation, and it helps us all around the world. Thank you very much, Mr. Chalet.
Thank you, Senator Warren. Senator Ernst, please.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Mr. Chalet and Ms. Abercrombie for being in front of us today, and I want to thank your families as well for their support. So, Mr. Chalet, I'll start with you. I have consistently worked hard to lead bipartisan and bicameral efforts to counter Iran, and I am very upset that the Biden administration continues to put more Americans at risk through their strategy of appeasement, which has emboldened Iranian aggression. So, Mr. Chalet, you currently serve as the State Department counselor. And during your tenure with the State Department, hired a Miss Iranian Tabatabai, whom we've recently learned was part of an Iranian government information operation. And according to reports, Ms. Tabatabai sought feedback from Iran's foreign minister on conferences she attended and in testimony she provided before Congress. She now serves in the office of the Assistant Secretary of Defense for SOLIC, Special Operations Low Intensity Conflict, which you will oversee if you are confirmed as Undersecretary. Do you believe it is prudent to have an individual with a history of conferring with Iranian officials in a highly sensitive role related to counterterrorism and special operations?
Thank you, Senator, for the question. I appreciated the time we spent together in your office last week. I know nothing about this particular instance. I only know what I have read in the press. All I can say is, given my experience at the Defense Department as well as the State Department and the National Security Council, anyone who serves in a position of national security has to go through a rigorous background check. But other than that, I know nothing about this episode.
Right. So let's talk a little bit about that. So she does have a clearance. Do you believe it would be prudent to suspend her clearance then, pending review in light of these allegations that she participated in an Iranian information operation to mislead the American public?
Senator, again, I know nothing about this allegation, so I'm not in a position to comment on it.
Okay, it would be my opinion that it should be suspended. And so we'll talk about the security clearance process as well. It's widely known, and you just stated that they go through, a rigorous vetting process. So it's known that security clearances require individuals to report personal interactions with foreign equities. And as the chief advisor to the Secretary of State, you have access to records of State Department employees. And you've stated, to the best of your knowledge, then, that this individual, Ms. Tabatabai, disclosed this relationship when she worked for you at the State Department, or not?
Senator, I have no knowledge of this case at all. I would assume that all of the normal procedures were followed here, but I don't have any direct knowledge of that.
So I would then suspect that maybe she didn't disclose this information, but we need to find this out. And again, because we don't know this, I think the clearance should be suspended. So if confirmed, do you commit to sharing Ms. Tabatabai's security clearance information with this committee?
Senator, thanks for the question. If confirmed, I'm not sure I would have the authority to do that necessarily, but if confirmed, I would pledge to you that I would look into any instance in which there's questions about the security inside the Office of the Undersecretary of Defense for Policy.
And if confirmed, what actions do you intend to take to prevent department officials from further engaging in unauthorized collaboration with Iranians?
Well, Senator, I think it's part of the deal in having a security clearance that one does not do that. So I would expect that sort of behavior would stop if it was ever uncovered.
I would expect that as well. Mr. Chalet, Iran continues to threaten U.S. military personnel in the Middle East and remains intent on assassinating American citizens here in the United States. Why is it acceptable, in your view, for the administration to continue offering Iran substantial sanctions relief while Iran continues to target American citizens for murder?
Senator, I think one of the most foremost responsibilities I would have, if confirmed for this position, is ensuring that we are doing whatever we can to deter Iran and push back from its malign behavior across the board in the region and around the world. I think we have restored some degree of deterrence over the last several months. There's not been an attack on our forces in Syria since March. There's not been an attack on our forces in Iraq for over a year. But every day we need to wake up and make sure that we are doing what we can to deter Iran so that they don't think that today's the day.
Yeah, and obviously, Mr. Sholay, the administration's view of Iran and my view of Iran is very, very different. I know this will be a point of contention as we move forward through your confirmation process, but I appreciate your answers. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator Ernst. Senator Blumenthal, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and